What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Millie, and man, it's been a minute. How long has it been? A week, 2 weeks since the last one? Man, I haven't seen y'all since what, before Christmas? Listen, man, Feliz Navidad. You see what I'm trying to say? Merry Christmas, and it's a new year. You feel me? So listen, start off the new year right. We know times is hard and gas is high. Okay, but we gonna get through this together. You feel what I'm talking about? But look, fresh off the new year, we got a real good one. You feel me? Now, the other day I was going through TikTok, right? Going through the TikTok rabbit hole. And I found this clip, right? And basically, the question is, do you have to tell your date you're transgendered, right? So I started thinking, right, and I'm trying to walk that thin line. I know the community is strong. Please don't come for me. I'm just a regular guy with a regular job. I just want to talk about some stuff. That's all. Okay? Ain't no hate coming from this heart. You feel what I'm saying? So I started thinking, like, if let's say I'm swiping on Tinder, right, and I match with a transgender persons and we make a plan to meet up, and I'm assuming, right, that you're not transgender. I'm just gonna assume that off the rep, right? So that's cool. But I feel like at some point within the first 2 to 3 minutes, I feel like you need to tell me that, right? Maybe it's just me, cause we're not gonna, build this relationship off a soft disclosure. Man, you need to tell me because I feel like if you don't tell me, there's going to be a problem. Okay, off of a severe miscommunication. Okay, and that's just I think is being fair, right? But I'm hoping these ladies can change my mind. Shout out to them. This is called The Line. Like, comment, subscribe to them. They got some real thought provoking topics. You know what I'm saying? And depending upon how this goes, you know, I'll probably do some more reaction videos because I feel like this one's real interesting to me. But let's find out and see what they got going on, man.
Have we got a choice of Kai's next? Two different Kai's.
We do. Wow, this is a trans stereotype we've got on our hands. We've got two callers, both named Kai. We'll go with the one who's been in the queue the longest, I think.
Okay.
All right. So we've got Kai in North Dakota. Hi, Kai. You are on the line. How can we help you?
Hi. So yeah, I actually posed this question to Jimmy a while ago, but now that I'm in North Dakota, it's a lot more conservative, and I wanted to pose this question to people who are also trans. So, just for context, I'm a trans man. I've been trans for quite a while, and I live stealth. I've had top and bottom surgery and all that fun. So, I guess my question was, when should someone who is trans, I guess, tell someone they're dating that they're trans without it being, both too late but also too early in the relationship? Because now, especially that I have gone through the process of transitioning, a lot of my friends have said, oh, don't worry about it, So I'm pretty privileged in the form of his passing and stuff at this point. It's like, well, obviously, if I'm dating someone, I have to be, I don't want to, yeah. Even if I say I don't want kids, I still want to be honest with them. And I'm wondering what a good middle ground has been for you guys in your experience. And I should clarify, I do mostly date like cisgender women, so I don't know if it matters, but
No, yeah. I think in the so I think there's a nuance here, right? I think in your instance, I think it's less of an issue because if you're dating cisgender women, there's less of a threat to like your safety, probably, at least a decreased risk to your safety from that individual. So like typically I would say like you don't owe anyone that information at all, in my opinion.
I don't know how I feel about that. Although technically, I feel like you're right. You don't owe anybody any of that information, right? But let's say if I had like an STD or something that I felt like was under control, like AIDS or HIV. Listen, I ain't no blood scientist. I don't got no bachelor's degrees, no masters. This is just kind of information on what I know or from what I've read or seen, right? So to my understanding, right, HIV, right, if you eat good, you work out, whatever the case might be, and you take, whatever pills that they're giving you, it's harder to transmit than what it used to be, right? And in some cases, right, it's almost like undetectable, right? Whatever the case might be with that, right? So let's say you're a person of that status, right? You eat good, you're healthy, right? Your HIV, whatever, is undetectable. You bring a chick back to the crib and you smash the doonies down. Y'all in the whole relationship now. You know what I'm saying? You moved in, you're almost homeless, she's taking care, you're doing great. And 3 months down the line, she goes through the pill cabinet and finds your HIV medication. You don't think she's not going to slap the hell out of you? You don't think that? Right? And I'm not here to compare like transgender people to like diseases and shit. I'm just talking about like the concept of like hiding information. Something as severe as that. Yeah, maybe not sleeping with a transgender person is going to completely alter your life, as if, sleeping with someone who has AIDS or an STD that you might catch and it can alter you forever. But psychologically, nigga, I don't know. Okay? If I bring a girl back and I smash it down, you know what I'm saying, to the point where she's paying my rent, right? And 3-4 months down the line, I find out you were a man, you turned into a girl. Nah, brother. That's a technical foul. I'm sorry. And I ain't trying to I'm not trying to be mean or nothing. This is coming from, I'm not like a good place, but I just feel like that you just cannot not disclose information, something like that, to anybody. Like, you have to tell them. Maybe it's just me, morally, on a moral level, right? Or maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's generally a good idea before you have sex with someone to let them know, because I do think it's possible that it could be an issue, and they do have the right to make a decision about that, even if they're going to be a fucking bigot about it.
Why does that make them a bigot, though? No, wait, first of all, what does bigot even mean? Hold on. Hold on, because I don't want to be talking about words I don't even know. Okay, no. How does that make him a bigot? Okay? If he brings, a man who turned into a female home, and she tells him that, I used to be a man back when I was 12, 10, whatever the case may be, he's a bigot for not being down with that, right? Or mad at the fact that the relationship has gotten this far. Now you decide to say that? Okay? This is almost on the same level as like you meet a dude or you meet a woman, you know what I mean? You fall in love with her. You've been dating her for years, about to marry her, and you find out she has a whole second family. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be like, what the hell was I doing? She was living this double life, and I have been bamboozled. Say I'm lying. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
They have the right to be a bigot.
Yep.
But, at the same time, like, that's your medical history, and like, fuck anyone who's gonna like try to force that out of you. I think when you feel like telling someone, you should tell someone.
See, and that's how Charlie Sheen then gave all them females HIV/AIDS. He basically had the same ideology. Fuck it. I got it under control. It is what it is. Right? Of course, I feel like this is the wrong approach, right? And again, I'm not trying to, bash how she's coming about this, but there is no fuck it. Right? That is something major that needs to be said in my eyes very early on. If you don't tell me within the if it's not in your bio, right? Something got to be in your bio. The colors, the flag, something. If you're not throwing subliminals as to this is what it is, we have a problem. And there is no fuck it. Like, that's completely wrong and morally messed up, if you ask me.
You don't think it's too late to wait a date or two, or you don't have to slap it on your profile?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Absolutely not.
Like,
Hey, do you know if your phone has a compass? I want to see if I can make a sundial for my.
I know quite a few. I know more stealth trans women than trans men, just because I talk to more trans women.
Yep.
But it's quite common for them to wait like 3 or so dates before bringing it up.
That's fair. 3 or 4 for the average guy. Me, I need 1 date. Nothing more, nothing less.
And I think this is a constant battle. Like I've tried both ways and both kind of shit. You either tell people up front and then it filters most people out, but then it might filter out some people who just need to get to know you and then realize that people have preconceptions about trans people and they're often bullshit and they're often broken down as soon as they met you. And then on the other hand, at least if you filter everyone out first, then you don't get the heartbreak of telling someone and them having an issue with that. I think, like, from a dating point of view, it's difficult to know. But like Arden says, like, you shouldn't be legally or morally required to tell them like before you meet them or like before one date or after one date. I think that's bullshit. And will just disagree with Arden on a moral point here. I think legally it should not be legally required in any situation. I think if you were like marrying someone and you hadn't told them you're trans, which by the way has happened for some people.
How you make it go that far and not know? Now don't get me wrong. I feel like the surgery now in Dr. Miami done inspired a whole new breed of surgeons where real life. Hey, I ain't gonna say I have been misconstrued once or twice, right? And if it wasn't for a bio, a flag, or whatever, I would have never been able to tell. And shout out to the surgeons doing that because, again, it makes you who you are, and I support that. That's cool. You know what I'm trying to say? But I ain't gonna front. It's almost I'm in a loss for words how good the surgery is now, man. It's really good.
But I think if you don't do that, like, this is someone who you want to build a life with, and I personally would share everything from my life, and I understand that some people don't do that, but I just think it's a bit dodgy. If you're dating for a few months, maybe, like when you start getting close, you might want to share it. If you have a one night stand with someone, you're not obliged to tell them. I don't
know how I feel about that. Like, again, would you not tell someone you have an STD on a one night stand? Like, again, I'm not trying to say trans people are like diseases or nothing like that, but on a moral logical level, something like that, something major, right? Like getting surgery, to make yourself look like a woman, right? Because you are a woman, right? And you go on a date and you have a one night stand and you don't tell the person prior to like them bringing you home, I feel like that's kind of, I don't want to say deceiving, but like, like, I don't know how some other men operate, but back in my prime, okay, if I brought you home and if you was fine like that, okay, if I even thought about not using a condom, my only two worries were either an STD or I'm finna have a baby early. And that could be the tale of two devils depending upon how you look at it. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, I feel like that you're walking a thin line, but by feeling like you're just not, you got your surgery, you are a woman, you just can't tell nobody. Well, ones that you're intimate with. And I don't agree with that. I think on a moral level, like, I don't care about what she's saying, weeks, months, no. First night stand, you come on, man, you definitely got to say something.
I think legally or morally, you're obliged to. I think it's like, for sure, some people would have an issue with a trans person. But like, there are a whole load of nonsense things that I could guess that someone has an irrational issue about. Like, oh, maybe you have an issue with left-handed people. Like, do I have to guess?
She wasn't serious with that. She wasn't serious with that. Ain't no way she was serious with that. That is the worst comparison I have ever heard. She's comparing someone who had a sex change to someone who is left-handed. Do you see where the frustration comes a little bit? Because that to me doesn't serve no purpose at all, and nor does it correlate. You feel me? That is a 1 + 1 equals a Hyundai Elantra moment, because Lord have mercy, there is no way those two are on the same level. No way.
If you've got an issue with sleeping with trans people, then you've got to know some trans people you can't clock, and therefore you just need to ask everyone who you ever talk to whether they're trans or not, because it's your problem. So I just...
No, I ain't gonna go. First of all, that's offensive to see, it gets getting a little weird between the trans women and the women. It's a little offensive, right? Hey, back in my prime, when I was hooping and I was not even on, and I wasn't even smoking the Zaza like that, you feel me? Listen, there were some athletic girls that were a little bit on the Debo side, okay, that I ain't too proud of, right? Imagine if I go to them like, hey, I'm feeling you. You strong and shit or whatever. You feel me? But before we can, we go back to my spot and play Xbox and shit. Are you trans? Imagine that. Imagine if we asked every woman, if you're trans before taking, that's offensive as hell. And okay, I don't want to say being trans is offensive, but it's like, they're gonna be like, well, what the hell do you think? You know what I'm trying to say? That's coming across completely wrong. So I don't think it's our duty to be asking any females nothing. Okay? If you have done something to yourself, if you have an STD, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say? If you got your meat, okay, turned into a glory hole, okay, you need to say it morally, because you don't know what that would do to someone's subconscious. You feel me? A dude meets a trans chick at the club, brings her home, finds out she's trans, gets tight, leave her, but you don't know what's gonna happen. Is he gonna start getting jiggy with like, he probably has never thought about messing with a trans person until that incident, and now my man's whole life has been flipped the script. His shit is upside down now. Now he don't know what he like. You know what I'm trying to say? Not to say that's ever happened. I don't know. I have never been in this position. But I'm just thinking, on a real moral level, you cannot not say something, brother. I'm sorry. Okay? Maybe I'm tweaking. Let me know in the comment section or something. And I don't feel like I'm being too hard. I'm just talking about being honest and open. You coming into a relationship where you're withholding important information, no matter how long it is, days, weeks, months, or years, you're already starting off the relationship on a bad foot. And anybody can agree to that, whether you're trans, whether you're straight, bi, pan, a unicorn, Bigfoot, or nigga, or Dumbledore. Okay? We can all agree to that.
That's my position on that issue. But yeah, I don't think, like, having 3 dates and telling someone, I think, is totally legit. I think that's fine. Though I can't tell you what's the best thing to do.
I just want to clarify that although I said you don't have to tell anyone. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to have a relationship with someone, starting on a foundation of keeping information from them is going to cause issues in the future, and it has potential to hurt someone's trust. But like, I don't think that you owe them that necessarily. I think there's other considerations to like how it could impact the relationship to consider. But like, yeah, you definitely should not feel like obliged in like a moral sense to tell them. It's more about like what kind of relationship you're trying to form with the people that you're seeking out.
If we're trying to have a relationship, right? Because that's what happens, right? When you date a person, you typically want to take it to the furthest level it can get, right? So you don't think they're morally obliged to say something? you are dead wrong. I am sorry. There's just no way on earth that is deemed okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so within a few dates would still be probably morally fair, right?
Totally.
I think
Absolutely.
that's
Not
totally fine.
breach of trust or anything.
Sorry?
Say again.
Oh, I said like within a few dates or something would probably be on the edge of not being like a breach of trust or leading anyone on.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think so. I mean, it's the same with any personal information. Like, you wouldn't go on like a first date with someone and, you know, like start telling them that you had a traumatic childhood, or, you know, like that's not always first date material.
Hey, I take that back. It depends, shorty. It depends. Now listen. Back in my Tinder days, man, I'm hearing about all kinds of shit off the first link, if I'm being for real. You know what I'm trying to say? But, you know, when you meet someone and, you know, the vibes is right, you feel what I'm trying to say? You guys are talking, getting to know each other. You gonna hear about some childhood shit. First day. I don't know where y'all been, but first day, you're definitely going to hear about it. Or maybe that's just me. Or maybe, you know, I usually be digging a little deep when I, you know, try to get to know somebody back in those times. You feel what I'm trying to say? But nevertheless, I'm going to hear about the trauma. Okay, and you're going to hear about my mom beating my ass. It's you know what I'm trying to say? We old now. Get over it kind of shit. Well, you know what I mean? Not really get over it, but you know what I mean.
You want to meet up and see if you vibe, and then maybe in your second date you like discuss your interests and stuff. Like, medical history isn't the stuff that you come out with, like, you know, you don't like shake hands with someone and be like, hi, I had my appendix out when I was 17. Like, you know, like maybe you would want to tell them before you get married because it's a part of your history, but it's, yeah, I'd like.
She picks the easiest thing. I got my appendix taken out. Or, hi, I'm Earl and I have genital warts. Now you tell me what that response is going to be like.
It's quite possible that you will tell them and they will act like you've been deceiving them, and it can make you doubt yourself. But that's just not true, and it's just a bullshit transphobic reaction. Trans people aren't deceiving people.
Yeah, and actually, a quick follow-up question. Oh, sorry.
Sure. No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So my follow-up question would be: is if you did say tell them on like the third date, what would the best way to bring it up be?
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, this is an interesting thing.
Just be like, I think I'm a tranny, mate. No, sorry.
I think this kind of relates to the analogy that I was going to bring up just a second ago. Like, people often do this kind of thing, and they think of, well, you know, if I weave together all the right words in the right way, maybe I can like convince a person who would otherwise not be okay with it to be okay with it. And the fact of the matter is, you can't control their reaction. You can't control how they're going to feel about it at all. So I don't think there's really a best way to tell them. I think the best thing you can do is say, hey, I have something to tell you. I'm transgender. And let them react how they're going to react.
Probably
and
not treat it like
maybe,
a burden.
Yeah, I think if you come in, yeah, exactly. If you come in treating it like it's like a burden, like something really serious, like they're probably almost certainly going to reject you the second they tell you, you're kind of like sowing the seeds for the disaster in the beginning, you know? If you come in and just say, I have information to give you, it's not that serious to me, but you definitely deserve the right to know if we want to keep this going. And that's blah. And then if the way they react sucks, then you can be like, cool, that person was not for me. And like, you can sit with how that might make you feel if it hurts a little, but like, you can't control other people, and you're going to have a way more successful relationship in the long run if you give them the freedom to react how they're going to react.
Yeah, definitely. I like, whenever I've presented it as information to people, I always just try and make sure it's not a big deal. Like, when I've written it on my dating profile, I'm just like, I am Katie and I'm a trans woman, and I, you know, here's all my things about me. I was going to read out my dating profile then. That's not a good idea.
She's trans? You see, hey, what did I say? I would have never guessed. I would have never guessed. She's bro. I would have never guessed. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way. And I'm just gonna assume, right? Since, you know, she's probably trans too. Well, you know, shout out your operator because he did his thing for sure.
Maybe
But
that's a different segment.
yeah, I think that it's good to just like Arden says, just present it as a fact, because that's it.
Mhm.
Just like you know that they might reject you, and you've just got to be ready for that, and it can be very upsetting. But I don't think going in bracing for that to happen is going to help anyone. So
Yeah. That help? That
I
answer your
think also
question?
being prepared to. Oh yeah, I was gonna
sorry,
say I
go
think
on.
that, and being willing to answer questions or talk about it more within reason,
Yeah.
or whatever you're comfortable with, can probably help the situation too.
So I've said to
Definitely.
people before, like, just so you know, I'm a trans woman, and if you would like to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it. And if you want some time, then we can have some time. And if you don't want to talk about it, that's also fine. Like, that's cool, whatever. Because sometimes you might tell someone and they might have a load of questions and then feel like they can't ask them. And really, if you're going to be in a relationship, then you might want to, ask some questions. So I think it's okay to just make it clear that you're open, or just see how they react first. Like, by the way, I'm trans, and they might be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you see, and I feel like the best way to get that kind of scenario, I'm trying to say, you guys vibe out, what I'm saying, it's a good day, you feel me? Then you be like, hey, just so you know, I don't want you getting misconstrued, I'm a trans person, okay? Trans pride and shit. Yeah, all right. I think if you come up and be real with it off rip, you will have a higher success rate than you just lying and gallivanting and just not saying information, and then it comes out, and then you upset on how the other person reacted. I mean, if you're keeping information from a person for weeks, months, years, I don't care if you was hiding the last Snicker bars, nigga. I don't care. I don't care about none of that. Okay? If you were lying to me for weeks, months, knowing because you're lying because you're in fear that what you tell me is going to cause a negative reaction, which is why you're withholding it from me, or you feel like you're not morally obliged to tell me, right? And that right there, if you can think that and know that, to me, that makes it morally wrong. You feel what I'm trying to say? You should keep it real and say it off rip, and then see where the relationship goes. Not just hold it out, and then what, before we get married, you tell me, at 17 I had surgery, this is how I look like this. Now, listen, post-op, pre-op, black ops, special ops, I don't care what operational place you are in, you need to tell me. It is just that simple, okay? I'm all for the openness. I'm all for everybody, trans people, pan people, we in it together. We in the same fight. We all pay the same price for gas. Shit, health insurance sucks for all of us, and rent is high for all of us. We got the same enemy, okay? But when we start teetering the lines of what's morally okay and what's morally not, I think that's where a real conversation needs to be had. Low key, Shorty on the left is sugarcoating shit a little bit, but she has the right idea. Okay, it's all about choice. If you give the person a choice, I feel like more times than not, they might be a little bit more open to it. And I think the concept to that is extremely simple. Extremely simple.
And then you're like, and if you wanted to talk about it, that's cool. And if you don't, it'll be good to see you on another date. Whatever. So, yeah. Good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for your help. Yeah, I appreciate the help.
Thank you
and very insightful.
Thank you.
Well, good luck,
All right,
Kai.
thank you
Have a
guys
nice
for letting
night.
me call in. Bye.
Bye. All right.
Just be like,
and
all them trans people you're seeing on the TV?
Yeah, man. Let me know what you think in the comments section, man. Like, comment, subscribe. This was an interesting one. Like I say, in my eyes, if I feel like from my POV, I ain't gonna speak for the rest of the straight community. Hey, what y'all do is what y'all do. You feel me? Hey, this is over this channel. This is judgment free. Live your best life. It does not affect me at all. I want all my people to be happy, right? But on a real moral level of getting to want to know someone, build a future with someone on a serious note, I feel like that is something you need to say almost right away. You know, especially if, you know, you're a trans man, like, and you're a man that went to female and you pursue, like, I don't know, straight man or whatever the case may be, or I don't know how that really works, but I feel like that's something you should say almost immediately, for one, because I feel like any lie kept in the dark for any extended period amount of time is going to cause super friction. Now, what that super friction is going to depend upon the level of the lie. Okay? The bigger the lie, the longer you hold it, the more crazier, you know, the reaction is going to be. And I think this is why, you know, well, I'm not going to say this is why, because I don't really know, but, you know, of course, you know, trans people do get murdered for this kind of shit, which is sad and unfortunate. And, you know, a death for something like that is not validated at all. But at the same token, being completely real, you know, if you're engaged in an activity and you're not telling the person, and then he somehow finds out abruptly by not even you, by some, whether it be, you know, pills or whatever the case may be, that would cause anybody to go crazy. You know, whether they're a straight man, straight woman, anybody, whatever you're holding back, you feel me? But nevertheless, man, moral of the story, you can't build a great relationship on, I don't want to call it lies, but on miscommunication. Okay? Like, comment, subscribe. Listen, man, we got another one coming. We on a 2-video-a-week schedule, I promise. I know I said this in the past. I know you probably thinking like, yeah, you lying. No, I swear. 2 videos a week. Okay? We there. We got 49 subscribers. We almost at 100. You feel me? So, like, comment, subscribe. You know, send it to your peoples. I'm out.